This episode of I Am Salt Lake Podcast is proudly sponsored by Jed's Barbershop. With 3 locations, you have no reason to not always look your best. Go get a haircut, a beard trim, or even a straight razor shave. Jed's Barbershop is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 9 to 7, and Sunday, 12 to 5. Their newest location is located at 167 East, 900 South, right next to Randy's Records. They also have a location downtown at 212 South, 700 East, and up in Sugar House at 2153 East, 2100 South. No appointment is necessary. Just show up, get yourself a haircut. Maybe you have a last-minute date or a job interview. Jed's Barbershop is the place for you. Head on over to their website at jedsbarbershop.com for more information.
Showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people, making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake Podcast.
All right, let's welcome everybody out today to episode 305 of I Am Salt Lake Podcast. My name's Chris Hollifield.
And I'm Chrissy Hollifield.
Before we jump into today's episode, let's mention how people can connect with each of us on social media.
Yes.
What's the best way, Chrissy, for people to connect and link up with you?
Currently, the best way for me is to just find me on Facebook, Chrissy Shelley Hollifield.
Which I still think you need to be posting more.
I do need to post more.
I want to get into your life. I want
to get more into my life.
I want to get into that brain of yours. But hey, lately I've been really enjoying the Snapchat. So if you're on Snapchat, you can connect with me at I Am Salt Lake. I've been posting a lot of those day-to-day, behind-the-scenes stuff that's been going on in my life.
It's actually really fun to watch. I have enjoyed it.
Hey, today on the podcast, we get to sit down and chat with Jeff Krie. Jeff is the owner of Salt Lake City's very own Trolley Wing Company. Jeff shares with us on this episode how he got involved with working in the restaurant industry, how he became the owner of Trolley Wing Company, and he even shared some of the history about the restaurant that even I wasn't that familiar with.
It's a cool story. His story is cool, and the Trolley Wing Company story is cool. So it's fun to get both of them.
Hey, if you haven't taken a moment to sign up for our email list, that way we can stay in touch with you and send you everything about the podcast, head on over to iamsaltlake.com. If you scroll down, it's about halfway down on the website on the far right-hand side. Put your email address in there, and don't worry, we won't spam you.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of time.
But we're going to be doing some giveaways in the near future on the email list. For everybody that's on the email list, will have a chance to be entered into it.
Yeah, it's definitely the best way to stay connected for when we do giveaways and cool things.
Well, I realize everybody's not on every social media, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's not on Facebook. Everybody's not on Instagram.
We all have our favorite that we kind of roll with. Email, everybody has email.
Hey, we all run into events, though, that we need a photographer. Maybe it's a family get-together, a work holiday party. If you're a local comedian, you might need headshots.
That's for sure.
Hey, we want to invite you to check out the photography of local photographer Amanda DeWolf. You can check out all of her work by going to her website, amandakmemories.com. It's where you can get in touch with her and also see some of her work right there on the website. Again, that website is amandakmemories.com. All right, let's jump into that conversation that we had with Jeff Krie when he came over to our office, shared his story, shared the story of Trolley Wing Company. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy. So say you and I, we're sitting down, we're having beers, and we have 30 seconds.
What's your elevator pitch?
Yeah, what's your elevator pitch, man? What's your your story in 30 seconds? I know that's like right off the bat. Who are you, Jeff?
Well, all right, let's start. Let's go back. I got a job washing dishes when I was 16 years old. I worked through restaurants until I was 21. Then I started tending bar. At 21, I started managing a bar. I bounced around a couple spots. I ended up at the Wing Company because I had friends that introduced me a while ago and all that. And before you know it, I've been there for 7 years. I own it now, which is crazy. I took the company from 7 employees to 65 right now. And it's kind of surreal still.
So you've always, you've been in the food industry for a while.
Yeah.
16 years old, you've always worked in the food industry.
Yeah, I'm 30, so 14 years.
Have you ever had a job outside the food industry?
Yeah, I had my family owns a commercial printing business. So when I was really young, I would do that in the summer times, but it's not really my thing. I can't really just sit in a warehouse. I got to be talking to people and moving and doing things.
So a restaurant suits you because that is active work.
Yeah, I got to move. I got to talk. I'm really sociable. And then I had another job. I got a job at eBay when I was 19, and I was excited because they give you like this cool computer setup with 2 screens, and I'm kind of a computer kid, at that time. Sure. I was way into all that, and it was so monotonous, and it was all just macros. They don't want you to say a word. It's all just automated everything, and I didn't last very long there. I didn't like it, and so I just got back to what I liked, and
making food.
Yeah, well, it started with making food. Well, it started washing dishes, then making food, then bussing tables, and then hosting and serving, and then tending bar, and just up and up and up and up. And
so now you probably do a little bit of everything, right? Am I?
Yeah, I
when
can
it
do
comes
every single
to,
thing inside of the business.
Trolley Wing Company. Where should we start with that? Because I know there's a history to it. What's the actual story? All I really know is it started at Trolley Square.
Yeah. So, I'm the new trolley, I think is the way to put it. I was talking with my business partner. His name's Jess Wilkerson, and I invited him to come to this actually, and he wanted me to do it.
Sure.
But the backstory, which I don't know too much of the details because it's before my time. The company started in 1999. It started in a trolley car. They were there for a very long time. I ate there probably less than 20 times because I barely got in. I turned 21 just in time to go in.
Oh, so it was a 21 and over place.
Yeah, it had a tavern license, so it was just wings and beer in there. That's it. But I heard through one of the restaurants I was with, the cooks I was with, they love wings. Like, yeah, try this out. So they got me to go. And I've been eating at Trolley for like 9 years, and I've worked there for 7, and now
now you own it.
Did you just start working there because you started eating there? And you
I needed a job, and I had a buddy that worked there, and they needed somebody to do it. He knew I was qualified, and you could even say overqualified, but I needed the work. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I just love the food. I love the whole concept of the thing, and that's what got me into it.
I think the important question is, like, you haven't gotten sick of the food yet.
Oh, I
ate
wings yesterday. I eat all the time.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's
a sign of a good food.
I need to even reel it back a little bit.
So obviously you're not at Trolley now. Where are you located then? Let's start right off that.
All right. So
for people
we
listening.
have a store at 2148 South and 9th East. It's west of Smith's behind Estee. We share a building with Estee over there. And then we just opened another one at 736 West Blue Vista Lane. That's 72 and 7th West. And that's the whole brand new business complex, all that stuff out there. We're right in the middle of it.
So 2 locations, Trolley Wing Company, I mean, just happened to have the same name, or did you know the original owner then of Trolley Wing Company?
Yeah, so it started in the trolley car.
Yeah, like you were saying.
My understanding is that Whole Foods came in and said, get that car out of the way.
Sure.
And it was kind of a big deal because that was the business. At the time, Jess, my business partner now, had bought it, and it was a business in a trolley car. Wings and beer, that's it. And it was working. Everything was great. But then, you move the car. That was the whole novelty. That was the draw. That was the whole thing, So the mall put him upstairs, and that's when I got hired, when it was upstairs in the mall. And it was struggling very, very hard. He has a construction business, and he was using that business to keep Trolley going.
Who's the original owner? What's his name? Do you know, or do you know?
Oh,
would you rather not say his name?
It was Will, and Will, I don't, again, that was 1999.
No, that's fine, man.
Before
I
my
was just
time,
curious, learning a little history here.
I know
Salt Lake.
I don't know well enough. I know one was Will Owen and Will Miller, I believe, but I don't even really know the guys. I've met them very briefly, but
see, and I never ate there. I never ate at the original Trolley Wing Company.
It was good. It still is good. But so from there, we're in the mall, and the company's struggling very, very, very hard. And I'm just trying to make a buck and make a living, and I see all these issues, so I'm just trying to make it the best that I possibly can. And the mall was going through ownership changes at the time, and what they had done is had us get architectural plans. They said, it's temporary. This isn't forever. It's temporary. And that temporary ended up being 3 years long. I mean, it was crazy, man. Like, the temporary space we were in it was all wired to one circuit box, and all the TVs ran back to this one box. The ovens run back to this one box. The fire department would come in like, this is not up to code. And we're like, hey, it's temporary. We're not supposed to be here.
It's permanently temporary.
Leave us alone.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, yeah, you're right. You're not okay. We understand, but it was just not made for what we were doing. And they put us clear up in the corner. There was nothing going on. They wouldn't let us put neons in the window And we had one window on 6 South, and they said nothing in the window. And I'm like, dude, there is no
really?
How are we supposed to even get business?
You hit us in the corner, So we had plans drawn up because the idea was to get us a new spot in the mall. What we wanted to do is take the trolley car and crane it over into that west, that courtyard there, and then get a new structure built. So we had a new building with a small dining room, our own bathrooms, a new kitchen, and then we're going to make it look like the trolley car comes out of a garage door. So it was a whole thing. We could have patio seating around it, indoor, outdoor seating, the trolley car, a new kitchen. It was the whole thing. We proposed that, and the mall ownership changed, and then we proposed it to them. They came in and said, hey, what's going on? We told them, and they said, all right, we'll get back to you. We get called down, and Jess and I couldn't have been more excited to be doing this. We waited for 3 years for this.
Sure.
Just scraping by. We shouldn't have lasted. And we get down there, and they gave us 2 weeks to leave.
The trolley square.
Trolley Square.
Really?
You would think they'd be begging you to stay. That mall is dead.
Jess said it. I mean, I'll quote him. He was very angry, pardon my French, but he said, in this whole fucking mall.
Oh, you could swear on here, man.
He said this whole fucking mall is empty and you don't have one place for us. And all the guys said is, we don't have a spot that's conducive to what you want to do. And it was like 27 maybe % leased. The Hive was out. You guys did the Hive. The Hive was out. Everybody. Like, they haven't even done anything with that space yet.
Wow.
I was just there like 2 weeks ago. We got
and it's depressing. That mall is awesome if they would do something with it.
Yeah, it's a really great mall.
Yeah, I mean, maybe keep the Trolley Wing Company in Trolley Square. But what do I know?
Keep a little bit of novelty going on.
Yeah, like what do I know?
They should pay you to be there.
Yeah, well, I've had some thoughts recently about that, but
just a few.
Well, maybe they might want us back now. I mean, we've made quite a name for ourselves, but they've got some making up to do if that's the deal.
Sure.
But that's a whole nother conversation. So yeah, now we opened up in Sugar House, and we were kind of worried. We didn't know if anybody's going to come. I mean, it's not that far down the road, but people in downtown Salt Lake don't like to go very far down the road. And a lot of our regulars were just walking into the mall. That was the whole thing. It was next to their house, So we did it. It was crazy. I've never opened up a restaurant or a bar from nothing like that. I mean, we had a name and we had a brand and it worked, but it was crazy. Neither have I done it.
It's the vegan wings, man. Is that what? So, because the original place didn't have vegan wings, right?
Well, we tried it, but it wasn't working out. I think if I remember correctly, I mean, this is like 6 years ago, but we tried it, and I don't know if it's because the demand wasn't there because we were in this mall. There was no demand. Like,
there's a ton of vegans now, though. That's the thing.
I don't know exactly why, but it didn't work out the first time. But we did try it in the mall, and so then we opened up again in Sugar House, and we tried it again, and now it's our number 4 selling item. Last year, it was bone-in, boneless, Bud Light, and then vegan wings.
Because that's what I'm part of a vegan Facebook group, the Salt Lake City Vegans.
Oh yeah, I know that is. Yeah,
and they're always talking about the Trolley Wing Company vegan wings.
Yeah,
and Jed from Jed's Barbershop, who told me to get you on the podcast. Shout out to Jed. Cannot talk every time I see him. He's like, you got to have the Trolley Wing Company vegan wings. And so I think I have to. But like I said in a text, I'm gluten free, but you have gluten free wings too.
Yep.
You got some kind of wings for everybody.
Yeah, we tried it. We do everything. We got bone-in, boneless, veggie, vegan, gluten-free. I mean, we got all of it. I mean, why not? And a lot of that stuff, when it comes to the gluten-free stuff, it's just a matter of analyzing the menu and seeing what we got. We already had it. We just didn't have it marked.
Yeah.
So what? Now we just go through, do a little bit of looking, spend some time, and then label it, and there we go. Now we cater to this whole crowd.
Yeah.
So...
What do you use, if you don't mind me asking? I bet you the vegan wings are a little secret, right? What is it, like a wheat meat that you use, I guess?
Yeah, it is. And we get them from Cali's. I mean, they're the Tigers.
Oh, over there by Costco there.
Yeah, and we're not the only ones in town that have them. From what I understand, we make them the best, but we're not the only ones that have them. Yeah, it's been great. It's really crazy. My understanding is that we started doing them, and then somebody wrote about us on that page, and I never even saw it. But after that, it was just boom, just people coming in for them. And I stopped. I had to ask somebody, what happened? Like, all of a sudden,
are you guys coming here?
are beating the door down for these things. And they said, oh yeah, somebody wrote about you on this page and da-da-da. And yeah, it's crazy. They're really good. They're great. We just had Big Buddha in the other store yesterday morning, and I had him try one, and he was pretty reluctant for a minute. And then he had it, and he started to kind of lose it for a minute there.
You had him try a vegan wing?
Yeah, he's like, "What is a vegan wing? Like, are you kidding me?" And then he has it, and he was like, "Holy crap! If you didn't tell me that wasn't chicken, I wouldn't have known."
Yeah.
And then I think he like took a video for his blog or something like that about it. He's pumped.
Let's talk about, there's people that have been there, obviously, but there's going to be people listening. I mentioned on my Snapchat that I was going to be chatting with you, and somebody was curious, is this like a sit-down place? Is this like a take and go? Describe it for people that have never been, or maybe they're going to be visiting Salt Lake and they've never come. What is it?
It's a very different place, and it's just how it is. We didn't really just come up with this concept and do it. It's just kind of what it's become. I like to call it a sports pub. We're pretty sports oriented. It's very pub feeling, but also the wing company has always been a thing where you're not supposed to be in a hurry to get the food. In the trolley car, it was expected that you're going to wait 30 to 45 to an hour for your food. There's one guy pouring the beer, making the wings, cleaning everything up. That's how it's always been. When I got hired, I was one person making the whole food, doing everything. It's always been like that. It's just, we bake the wings. When you bake anything, it takes a minute. If you want fast wings, they're going to be fried. You can get them at the place up the street. They're not going to be nearly as good. That's fine. But that's the thing. You come in, you get your wings, you have some beers, you hang out with your friends. There's a lot of repeat customers, a ton of them.
It's an experience.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're trying to go in there and get your food in 10 to 15 minutes and leave, it's not going to happen. It's not that kind of a place, and it's kind of tough because that's not the way culture has gone in the last 10 years. Everybody wants it now.
But it's also nice for those of us who that's what we do. Like our social time is taking our friends somewhere and sitting and the restaurant not trying to kick us out quickly to get turnover.
Oh yeah. No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the thing. And again, so the crazy thing too about Trolley is that when we moved to Sugar House, we doubled our kitchen size. I got a full staff instead of one man running the show. Now I have cooks, I have bartenders, I have servers. I'm taking all my experience and making it into a real place, Well, that kitchen is now super, like we thought it was huge and now it's so small. We can't keep up. We got so many people coming in and we can only get 3 guys in that kitchen because if you put more in, you're going to slow it down. The kitchen was not made to produce what we're producing right now.
So how many employees? You said 60 employees now? Or
65 checks were cut, I believe, last time around between 2 stores.
Wow. That's still a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well,
for 2 locations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know how I do it.
You were mentioning how people, don't come in and expect a, fast turnaround, right?
Yeah.
Sit down, relax. Have you had any like irate customers?
We get that a lot.
It probably happens a lot, huh?
Honestly, it happens, but what are you going to do? Like I can't tell every single person that this is how it is. They have to just learn that
you need
this
to put
is
a
how it
sign up
is.
or something.
It says it on the menu. It says you can't rush perfection.
It's true.
Everything is baked.
True.
That's cool. That's a good plan.
And I'm actually working on something too. I want to revamp the menu and have a little explanation. Like you flip it open, the cover will have our logo and everything. You flip it open, and here's a little here's Trolley. This is why we do things the way we do them. People want to just taste. They want to get 2 of these sauces, 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. Well, we make every single thing to order. We don't just pump sauce on wings like everybody else in the country. If you want habanero garlic parmesan with honey, we're going to take habanero, garlic, parmesan, and honey, put it in the bowl, mix it up, put the cayenne and red pepper to make it as hot as you want it, and then we're going to serve it to you. I can't toss 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 by doing that. It already takes too long for the food. If I cut up wings in orders of 2s or 4s, it doubles the time it takes to make them.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes us different. You bake our wings. It's a cleaner wing. The grease has all come off of the wing. They're very crispy, but they hold the moisture. And every single sauce is made to order. One of my employees, Bailey, she teaches yoga. And one of her students was a grad student at the U in mathematics. And I was in some other kind of interview or something, and I wanted a cool fact. So I said, can you have your friend figure out the exponential possibilities of how many sauces we have with how many wings and the temperatures of heat? If you have 4 wings and I think 17 sauces and 4 different types of heat, she stopped doing the math when it broke 4 million possibilities.
Wow.
And everyone gets pick their own combination.
Yeah. We don't have 10 choices of sauce. I had Bucky, one of our regulars, awesome guy. He was being funny one night, had a few beers. He said, "Hey, I want to try all of them together." Guess what? We did it. We mixed 17. It was good. Honestly, there's not really one that is bad. I don't really like the honey mustard. I think it's kind of boring, but it's not bad.
What's your favorite?
I really like the Jamaican honey garlic wings. Okay. My original favorite was the lemon. I got in the trolley car. I got the lemon milds. Man, there's so many of them. The Cajun honey. That's what I was gonna bring for you today. Is Cajun honey. That's really good. I can go on and on. I'm telling you, they're good. I eat them all the time.
Is there anything there for people listening? They're like, well, I want to come check it out, but I don't want wings. I mean, you got other food.
Yeah, we have some sides. We have some salads. I mean, honestly, it's wing based. It's a Trolley Wing Company.
Yeah, don't go there if you don't want wings.
Don't ask for a burger.
There's no beef on the menu. We have a brat that isn't going to be on the menu very much longer. I think I'm going to swap it for a pulled pork sandwich or a Philly.
Wisconsinites get in there quick. Try the brat.
Yeah. But it's just not. To bring it back around, the demand is so high in Sugar House, and it takes so long to make this thing, and the kitchen's so limited. We don't have a grill. We don't have that. We have to bake a brat, so it just doesn't work out. It slows things down. So that's been the thing, is trying to get this other store open and also keep the other one going and get them doing the same thing, and then also making everything work better together. And
do you have plans? Like what's in the future? You have 2 locations. Oh. Do you plan on opening up another location, or is that top secret?
We've had some offers. We've had a lot of offers. The guy that developed Midvale, he developed the whole area. He heard about us and he came in because we built the thing ourselves. Jess is, like I said, he has a construction company. He has guys. So we took some of those guys, and Jess and I built the whole place ourselves. We ran we did everything. We cut all the concrete. We hauled it out. We laid the pipe. We had, subs come in that are friends of ours want to help, and they would inspect it and make sure it was all done correctly and sign off on it. But to save money building it, we built the thing ourselves.
Wow.
They dropped off a truck full of lumber that framed the whole thing, and Jess and I hauled every piece of that in the building ourselves. So this developer heard about that, and he heard that it looks so nice and these guys are doing something. Everybody else hires this stuff out, but these guys are doing it themselves. And so he comes in and says he has a spot in Harriman. We got a spot for you. We want to do this. And we're trying to open the door. So it's really bad timing. It stressed me out. But to cut it short, there's a guy that wants us to do it in Harriman. I got an email about a guy developing in Provo that wants us to do one. We have a couple gentlemen in Denver that want to do one out in Denver. We're talking about maybe something in North Salt Lake. I really want to get a satellite store in Sugar House because it's so overwhelmed. We were hoping that when we opened up in Midvale, it would take some pressure off of Sugar House. And it didn't.
Just made it busier.
Way, not at all.
More people just heard about it.
Yeah, it's just a different thing. Like it's completely different. So we still have long wait times in Sugar House, and I hear all about it, and my staff is doing everything they can to make it happen. And it's like I said, we're just producing way too much for what the place was built for. So what I want to do is do a little satellite kitchen that's to go only. It's to go and Grubhub only. And so no food goes out the door. It all stays inside. I mean, we do so much to go. It's crazy. And so the cool thing about that is we could tap into another market. You have to be 21 to come in a trolley. But if it's just food, we can get anybody coming in. You know what I'm saying? So we could have kids getting wings when they're like 18, whatever, and they'll be waiting to come in because, I'm 21. I can go to the bar now. And we've thought about how it might not work out, and it will. There's not a downside to the whole thing. And we already have. We just built a whole bar, a 3,300 square foot bar, with our own hands from nothing. I think we could very easily open up a little kitchen to just do wings to go.
Let's take a quick break. We need to play a message here from our sponsor, and then we have some more questions to ask you, Jeff. So hang tight. We'll be right back. This episode of I Am Salt Lake Podcast is proudly sponsored by Jed's Barbershop. With 3 locations, you have no reason to not always look your best. Go get a haircut, a beard trim, or even a straight razor shave. Jed's Barbershop is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday 9 to 7, and Sunday 12 to 5. Their newest location is located at 167 East, 900 South, right next to Randy's Records. They also have a location downtown at 212 South, 700 East, and up in Sugar House at 2153 East, 2100 South. No appointment is necessary. Just show up, get yourself a haircut. Maybe you have a last-minute date or a job interview. Jed's Barbershop is the place for you. Head on over to their website at jedsbarbershop.com for more information. Do you ever, I imagine you work a lot of hours, right? Yeah, do you ever get sick of wings? I mean, be honest. Do you ever sometimes just want to pour a bowl of cereal and you're like...
I haven't had a bowl of cereal in more years than I can count. I'm not a breakfast guy.
I mean, I'm not saying you have bad wings, but you know what I mean? It's like, gosh, sometimes...
Maybe you just want a PB&J. Let's start throwing out food until we find what you like.
I mean, do you ever...
The only time I get tired of the wings is when I spend a lot of hours in the kitchen handling them. Yeah. You know, if I'm in the front or if I'm running around and just doing... I'm constantly all over the place. I love them. But when I'm handling them all the time, and I think that goes to say for anybody that works in any kitchen.
Yeah.
You get tired of it. It's not the first time that I felt that way. And it happens. You just get tired of it. You get tired of smelling the same ingredients and seeing all the same stuff and going home and you smell like the food. It's like, I don't want to eat it. I smell like when I go home, As of lately, I've got both my kitchens running pretty well. I still got a lot of work to do. But
do you get nervous when you leave? Like right now, are you nervous? Are you stressing out? Are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm a little bit stressed.
I got some bad maybe news. Somebody's going to screw.
Bad news before I came in. It's stressful, but we are already working on solutions. And
anything we can help you with.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get in that kitchen, man,
learn to
You're hiring people.
Yeah, it's been tough, man. I mean, I don't know. It's this whole last year. It's just we hire people and it feels like their foot's already out the door. And
food industry's rough.
Oh man, I was on the news because in Midvale, I was open for like 4 days and we were so short staffed and I was working like 16, 17 hour days. One night I just slept there. I was like, why go home? My dog has been at my parents' house for like a month. They're watching him because I'm never home. I was just done. I was trying to write something on Facebook and I was just kind of staring through the computer. I was so drained.
Oh, wow.
And so I put it together and the one thing that stood out is I said in caps, I said, this is a cry for help, you guys. This isn't me trying to hire. This is me begging you all. I said, somebody in this town knows somebody else in this town that needs to work. I said, send them in here. I don't need an interview. It's cutting carrots, it's cutting celery, it's portioning ranch and blue cheese. It's very basic stuff. And every time that I'm sitting here doing this, I'm not managing two of these companies,
Yeah.
And so Fox 13 actually heard that. They called me. They got a hold of me via email, I forget, and they did a story on it. And they said, a couple years ago we were doing stories on how nobody could find work. And now we're hearing that nobody could find employees because unemployment's at 3.5%. So they did a little thing, and I was literally on the news begging for help.
It's tough, though, because, some people are just way overqualified for a job like that.
Yeah, I understand. Definitely.
But there is probably plenty of people. How old do you have to be now to work? Like, I guess 16, right?
Well, 21 in the bar.
Okay.
And that's definitely part of my issue. It's a bar.
So 21.
I definitely pay as fair as I possibly can. If, as of lately, too much. I have to reel things back. But prime example, I had this kid come in and he wanted to wash dishes. Awesome. And I was so shorthanded that I'm killing him with kindness, just overly nice, as nice as I possibly can be. He was the first dishwasher we hired. So I said, what hours, how many hours, what days? The schedule's open.
Like you gave him a really flexible.
You're the first guy. This whole schedule's wide open. What do you want? He said he wants 4 12s. I said, all right, as long as you can handle it. I don't want to burn you out, but I'm willing to try it if you feel good about it. We agreed on a wage, gave him the schedule he wanted. We had a break in the business. Said, you want to take a break? This was just a regular shift too. This is first shift. Yeah, I'll take a break. All right, go ahead and take an hour and a half. Really? I said, yeah, are you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. Hey, make him whatever he wants. I'm killing this kid. Like, I'm doing everything to retain him. Everything was good. Everything was fine. Night wrapped up. He never came back.
What? How many days did he work there?
One shift.
One shift.
Wow.
And he asked for 4 12s. Yeah. Was it a lot of dishes? Let's be honest.
No. Hey, we don't have dishes. We have baskets.
Oh, baskets.
I've washed dishes for a long time. That is one of the easiest dishwashing jobs I've ever had. Like ever. There's no soap. Okay, we have forks and knives that we barely use. It's chicken wings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's plastic baskets.
How old
with
a kid do you think
paper.
he was?
What's that?
How old do you think he was? Rough.
Oh, he had
early
to be
20s, late 20s.
Over 21. He could have been older than 24.
I was just curious. Like, gosh, you after all that hassle, and then he never comes back.
I know.
Well, if he's listening to the podcast,
shame.
No,
if I had that.
No, but it's an interesting story because I find maybe you gave him too much, right? Like you're like, well, what do you want? What do you want?
Right.
Let me rub your shoulders a little bit more.
Right.
No. I mean, you're doing a really good job making a positive environment for employees.
Yeah.
And that's huge, right? You know, that is one of the main criteria
right.
for our age, our demographic and age group looking for jobs.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
What do you think most of your employees would say if I'd walk in there right now and I said, what do you guys think of Jeff?
You know, honestly,
let's do it right now.
No, I don't. We're going to call him up.
I'm not even afraid of this conversation at all. I've had a lot of people over the years tell me that I'm the greatest boss I ever had.
And then you have a lot that'll call you a piece of shit.
There are some that don't feel so good. But
you seem like you would be a cool boss.
You know, honestly, I'm pretty laid back, man. I'm not really much of a slave driver. As long as you do your job, I'm happy with you. You know. But tonight, you know, I'm sitting there trying to get some stuff for you guys to come in here. I'm all excited, and I hear how 2 of the guys just no-showed. And it's like, man, that's half my kitchen in Sugar House. That's half my kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's like, how I don't understand it. I would never do that.
No,
I would never. I never have done that. In my working life, I started working when I was young. I don't get that. I do not understand. How can you not say anything? Like nothing. As far as I know, I talked to these guys the last 2 days. There was no confliction, like no issues.
Are you Facebook friends with them?
I'm not. No, I don't.
Because I was going to say that would be, you know, they're out posting. Tonight was fun.
You don't do the whole Facebook.
No, I had a lot of friends work for me over the years, and I've tried very hard to phase all of that away. And you know, if everything's fine and we go our own ways, we can be friends on the internet. But while we're working together, we don't need to mess with that. This is work. This is business, you know. But I don't get it. You know, I don't understand how people can do that kind of thing.
You seem like you're a born entrepreneur. Like you've always really enjoyed working, and you kind of keep working harder and harder and harder. I mean, what would you do if you didn't own a business?
I don't know.
Yeah, man. Really
I don't know. I really don't know.
Like if you could quit working and do whatever you want.
I'm sure you have dreams, right? Just lighting the place on fire.
Quit working at Trolley.
What if you could quit? Okay, that's tough because you probably work at Trolley because you love it.
Right, exactly.
But let's say somebody offered you an enormous sum of money to sell, and you could do whatever you wanted. You had all the money in the world.
Well, if you had all the money in the world, that's a different story.
Well,
here,
that's what I'm saying.
Maybe he wants to travel. Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like what? Because I can tell that you naturally enjoy working. You would probably start another company.
Yeah, you know, the truth is I have to have a place. That's something that I learned about myself years ago. I lost a job. It was really sad. I was really dedicated, and it went south. And I was unemployed for a couple months, and it was like the most depressing couple months of my life. And I was getting unemployment. My buddy is like, what are you upset about? You get unemployment. You don't have to go to work for 2 months. It's a summertime. Like, enjoy yourself. And I was just so down and out because I don't have a place to report to and people to talk to and people to see and things to do, you know? So I don't know what I would do. I really don't know. Even another business, I don't really know. I haven't thought about it too much.
Yeah, you've been a little busy.
But I just don't know. I mean, I love to travel. Oh, guys, I love it.
Do you have like a dream place that you would like to go, or have you gotten to travel?
I have a lot of friends all over the place. I like to go see them. I haven't been to the East Coast too much, so I'd like to go see what that's all about. I've been all over the West Coast. I have family in Washington, lots of friends in LA, some in San Francisco, some in San Diego, some in Arizona. I have a lot of good times in Vegas. I like to get out. I have friends in Australia, friends in New Zealand. I was in Mexico with all of those people in January. In fact, Chris and Annika are getting married this weekend, and I'm missing their wedding. I'm sorry, guys, but all of my friends are down there for that wedding. So I like to get out. I love it.
Now, I don't even know. Did we ask you, were you born and raised here in Utah?
I was born in Denver and I was raised in Murray, Utah.
Okay, so you've lived here most of your life then.
Yeah, I was born in Denver, and then a year later we had moved to Seattle. My brother was born in Seattle, and then from there we moved back down to Salt Lake City.
So you don't have a lot of memories outside of this area, it sounds like.
Well, my entire life, I'd go see my family in Seattle.
Yeah.
So I've been going to Seattle my entire life. My mom would drop back before 9/11 and all of that. You could walk your kids up to the gate.
Yeah.
And so my mom would drop us off, and then my grandpa would be at the other side, and we'd spend 2 weeks in Seattle every summer, hanging out. And so
that's awesome.
I know Seattle pretty well, and I love it.
It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself living in Utah forever, or you never know? Before
we moved to Sugar House, I wanted to leave. I was tired of the bar scene here. If Salt Lake's so small, imagine how small the bar scene is. And I was working so hard and doing all this stuff, and I had a couple bumps, and I was just like, screw this. I don't like these people, and it's so small, and I just don't feel like I'm being treated very well. And so I wanted to leave. I have family in Seattle. I have friends in LA. I got nothing to lose at this point. I'm young enough. I know enough. I'm not afraid to work. So I was thinking about that. And you worked in the
bar scene, right? So you kind of,
definitely.
You were on the other side.
Well, also, there's money in the bar scene in Salt Lake City, but there's way more money outside of Salt Lake City.
I got friends that are bartenders, and they tell me some of the money they go home with, like in Philadelphia and stuff.
Right. Whew. That's what I'm saying. And so I was thinking about that, and then, I was talking with Jess about moving to Sugar House, and I decided, I'd rather, if I do leave, I'd rather have something going for me and not just go out there broke and just leave and just take a shot on nothing. I'd rather build a bit of a vehicle to get me out of town than to just walk.
Have a game plan.
Yeah, now, are you a full bar or just beer? Do you have full bar? Full liquor, everything,
we have
right?
two liquor licenses, one for each store.
Is it tough with the Utah liquor laws? What's the hardest? Is it more people wanting a couple shots, or is it...
the hardest part about it, the hardest part is not having a club license. The hardest part was having a restaurant license, because we did that for a while, and it's brutal, man. We came from a tavern license. We were always 21 plus. And when we moved to Sugar House, we didn't get it. And having to do, even with the amount of food that we sell, you had to do 70-30, 70% food, 30% alcohol. And trying to meet that is so unrealistic, especially coming from a bar situation. We were always 21 plus for, I think at the time it was 13 years or something. It was a tavern. So all of our old regulars that wanted these wings, they want to come drink, and they don't always want to eat. They do eat, and we sell a ton of food, but 70-30, if a basket of wings is $10 and a beer is $4 and they get 1 and 1, your number's already off. That's one beer and one drink. So let's say they stick around and watch a game.
They get another beer.
And they have 3 or 4. Which is not unusual. It's not unrealistic, and it's not unreasonable. Well,
and we're adults.
Exactly. And there you go. And there you go. Huh. Now everything's off, so.
Do you think they'll ever get rid of that 70-30? What, gosh, that's just so stupid.
That's, and that seems like a really dumb rule for the restaurateurs too, because it seems like the food you don't make quite as much money off of. It's more work. You put more into it, you invest more, and you don't have as much of a return. So
yeah, I actually just got a message an hour ago from a girl, and she's like, "Hey, why is your food so expensive on Grubhub?" And I said, "Well, let me tell you, because there's a reason for everything. I'm not greedy, I promise." I said,
"That's a delivery service, right?"
Grubhub. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I said, we tried it out, and it was a huge hit. But the thing is, they take 30% of the sale. So we don't make that much on the food.
So you had to up it.
Wings have only gotten more expensive, and so I said, that's the first thing. Secondly, the money's in the cup. So when we send all of this food out the door and the ticket times go up in the restaurant, the people that are actually making us money are now more unhappy because it's taking too long. So I said, what I did is I upped the prices for the wings to compensate for that 30%. And also to save the profits that are inside of the bar. It's crazy.
So are you still on Grubhub then?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
what about honestly, the Uber Eats? Are you doing Uber Eats too?
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing this up. Uber Eats, no way. I would never do that. The guy called me and he's like, "Hey, we're coming. All right, cool. Said, well, let's talk rates because I'm already with Grubhub. And he said it's like 35%. I said, okay, well, Grubhub lets me mark up my menu to compensate for that. Can I do that? No. All right, well, I'm going to hang up on you then.
Wow.
Because it's I can't believe it.
So Uber Eats won't let you change?
No,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I did post it on Facebook how excited I was about Uber Eats, right? This is great, blah, blah, blah. But see, and then I had some restaurant owner. I forgot where he says he's owner at, but he says, no way, forget that.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So the restaurant owners are
But how do they know if you up the prices? I guess they look at your original menu?
Yeah, they take your menu and just copy it. But at Grubhub, you can go and edit it, you know?
See, and I'm okay with upping the price. You're delivering it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I agree with you. And honestly, I'll be upfront with you and everybody that listens to this. I wouldn't pay that.
Yeah.
No way. But if you want to pay it,
but you know what? You're drunk, you're stoned,
exactly.
something, man. Like,
no, I understand.
You know, you just want some wings.
No, I used to work at Italian Village. That's where I learned a lot of my skills when I was like 16 to about 20. And I'd had a bunch of beers. I really wanted a pizza bender, and I couldn't drive. I pull it up. Oh, they're not on there. So I text Shay. She's the one that owns it. And I told her, I said, I'm not affiliated. I'm not getting anything for this. But I'm telling you, I'm too drunk to drive. I want a bender. And this is a whole nother market. Like, our Grubhub doesn't stop ringing. It doesn't stop. And I can't believe it.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Huh?
If you want to pony up, I mean, go ahead and do it. I recommend just coming and getting them. You know, they're better. If you ask me, the wings are best inside the bar. Once you put them in the box.
It's the experience. Like you said, man, you got to go for the experience.
Yeah.
Especially if you're new to town.
Right.
We're getting a lot of listeners lately that are new to town and they're wanting to find out about Salt Lake City.
Right. Yeah. It's a better product too. Like even with or without the bar, taking wings home and they've been in the box and the moisture changes and everything. If you want the real deal, just go have a seat, order a beer, start talking to people, and love them when they get put in front of you because they're going to be damn good.
What would you tell somebody if they're visiting Salt Lake City say they're coming here this upcoming weekend? Let's step outside Trolley Wing for a second.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh yeah.
Say they're visiting town. They've never been here. I'm sure you have friends that come to town.
Oh yeah.
What would you tell them to do or check out or an area of town or something? What would you tell them to do?
That's a really good question. I
mean, I've had hikes or Temple Square.
You know, I would just say, hey, let's start making the rounds.
Yeah.
You know, I know quite a few people all over town. I love, you know, I'll tell you right, I'm a sucker for Takashi. I'm an absolute fiend. I love it. I take all my friends that come in from out of town there. And I had a girlfriend of mine named Jen. She from LA, you know, and they got all kinds of good everything in LA. Took her to Takashi. She's like, you know, that is better than any sushi I've ever had in Los Angeles. And so that's definitely
truth. That's honest truth. I'm actually from Ventura, LA area. So.
Yeah. You know, people get kind of crazy, like, oh, can you get sushi in Salt Lake City? You know, it's kind of far from the water. Hey, no, we're going. You know, I've been going there for years. It's one of my favorite spots in Salt Lake City. I get treated so well. The whole staff knows me. I feel so good when I go there. I can't explain to you, but I would take him out to dinner. I like to go check out shows. I love the Urban Lounge. I wish I'd been there more this year, but I've been working a lot.
It's a great venue.
I love the Urban Lounge. I've seen so many good shows there. I'd try to get up to the Red Butte too. I love live music. That's my whole thing. So I'd take him up there if I could. I've taken a bunch from camping. You know, I had my friends from New Zealand. They've never been camping in their life. They're from Auckland. They're from the city. A little bit older too. I mean, my friend Jen, she turned 50 in January, and she owns this really killer salon, and we took them up camping, and these guys have never.
What did they think?
I mean, it was these Utah mountains.
We had a great time, but it's definitely more rugged than I think they've ever seen in their entire lives. Definitely. But, you know, I took care of them. You know, I got gear, you know. We didn't do anything too crazy, just one night. You know, let's just pack it up, take some beer and some food, and just go hang out around the fire and go home.
Let me guess, you took wings?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we actually did do that. We went down to, what is the hot spring down there? It's going to kill me.
Crystal? No.
Not Crystal, the other one. Mystic.
Mystic, okay.
Yeah, we went down to Mystic years ago after Coachella. They came back here. We went down to Mystic, and I took a whole bunch of wings, just grilled them up. And
nice.
Yeah, I got wings.
I bet you're the man. You like, hey, we got to invite Jeff to the party, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I just
to the kegger, you know.
I just went over to Heart of Gold and got a tattoo like a couple hours ago, and took him like 4 boxes of wings.
What'd you get a tattoo of? That looks pretty cool.
It matches the other side. This one. So this one over here says you can't take it with you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this makes poor audio, but
yeah, I'm sorry.
But it's some really beautiful
For those who can't see it,
typography.
it's script. It says you can't take it with you. A friend of mine passed away, and he taught me that lesson growing up.
Well, and Heart of Gold's right by you.
Yeah, I actually used to live right behind them, so I'm friends with all those guys. And then on my right arm here, I got another one of the matches that says whatever it takes.
Right on.
So
I love it.
It looks good. I can't really tell. It's behind this ceramic.
I mean, it's gorgeous. Is that like a mean thing to say to a dude? Those are gorgeous
Those
tattoos.
are beautiful.
No, well, thank you. I like that, actually. I'll take a positive response on a tattoo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other, you mentioned Takashi, any other favorite eating spots? I know, I mean, obviously Trolley is where you at.
You know
I
what?
mean,
When I get tired of chicken, I go to Lucky 13 for burger.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
Rob used to own Lucky, and Rob used to own Trolley, and so him and I have become buddies through the business.
Okay.
That I go there for burgers. Where else, man?
What's your favorite burger there?
I like the bacon stinky is so good. I like blue cheese a lot. Also, if I want a sandwich, I go to Grinders.
Yeah.
Grinders is great. I love to eat, man. I love food.
You mentioned Rob because he had a post with you because you just won Best Wings, the Best Wings of Utah.
Yep.
The City Weekly.
Second year in a row.
Yeah. That's the congratulations, by
Thanks.
the way.
Yeah, we're doing that tomorrow night. We'll get the award tomorrow. It's voter's choice too, so that means we were voted. I didn't ask for this. The people just said
this podcast won 1 year. We won back in 2012, but there's another podcast in town that there's like a rivalry.
They just keep beating us.
Yeah.
Well, let's change that.
Well, it's Geek Show. I love those guys though. They always win. I don't blame them. Everybody likes the geeky people.
Yeah.
A little bit more than
culture here is very strong.
They're like, a podcast about Salt Lake. Maybe that should win best podcast in Utah. No,
I'm impressed, you guys. I'm really digging this.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, so we won that again this year, and tomorrow we go to the ceremony and do all of that. And then Friday, we're going to have a grand opening party in Midvale, and I'm looking forward to that too. It's going to be a rough couple days. I've been trying to take it easy on the liver to get ready for it because we're celebrating, but
I love it though. I mean, you work hard, you love what you do, and that is rare.
Yeah. Really
quick, one piece of advice that you would give a business owner, like somebody who wanted to open up a business.
Start small. Don't even have to think about it. Start small. Be realistic. It's not going to come overnight. You just have to start small, and that's exactly what we did. We started in the mall, and I used to stand there by myself waiting for someone to come in. And then, brick by brick, day after day, a little bit, making more connections, talking to people, building a more solid crowd. I mean, hey, if I could do it, anybody can do it.
Sure.
I'm a college dropout. I barely graduated high school. My mom cried when I told her that I was going to graduate. I mean, not to discredit my intelligence at all. I just didn't like going to school very much. But
what's your website? Let's run down the website and then how, again, the address is for Trolley Wing and any other contact. You're on Facebook, I would imagine.
Yep. Yeah, so trolleywingco.com is the website. Facebook, you can look us up, Trolley Wing Company. We're on there, and that covers both stores. The Sugar House store is at 2148 South, 900 East, and that's behind Estee. And then Midvale's 736 West, Blue Vista Lane, and that's like 72 and 7th West over there.
And I'll put all those addresses at iamsaltlake.com with this episode's links and notes and
you
all
had told us before we started recording that Jerry Cordova.
Oh, yes. I was going to bring that up. Yeah, Jerry did some artwork.
Yeah, Jerry's awesome. I miss her. I haven't seen her for a little bit. I hope she's doing good.
Friend of the podcast. She's been on the podcast.
Yeah, she's on episode 270.
Yeah, that's the one. That's like the first one I ever heard. And she did a huge mural for us. It's awesome. She's a sweetheart. I miss her. I haven't seen her for a little bit, but also I know we've both been working a lot. So.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm glad.
Sweet.
Thank you for bringing that up, Chris.
Jerry's sweet. Jed's sweet. I mean, that's the cool thing about Salt Lake is that there's so many like-minded entrepreneurs. They're so nice and so cool. And it's a small enough town to where you can get to know people, but it's big enough where we can all work together.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah. This is a great area to start a business or try to like live out your dreams, see how it goes, because there's so many supportive people.
Well, that is one thing I've noticed even with doing the podcast in the years I've done this is everybody is out to support local, support the little guy.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to bring up before we let you go? Anything you want to ask really quick, Chrissy, before we let him go? I know you got to get back to your restaurant and manage that.
Yeah, I want to drink this beer too.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, what's your go-to karaoke song?
I don't sing karaoke.
You don't sing
not
karaoke?
Not for me at all. No way. I'm sorry to shoot you down on that one, but no way. No, I can't.
Even after a few drinks, even after a few beers,
you can't convince me. I won't do it.
Sounds like a challenge.
What's your drink of choice when you're at the bar?
Oh, I really love the Proper's Fault Line. That beer, it's got a sweet spot in my heart. I really like the Ghost Rider by, Wasatch. My Rock Solids Cutthroat. That's an American tradition. I'm sorry, Utah tradition right there. I drink a lot of Bud Light too. I like lighter beers too, I like all kinds of drinks.
I love it.
Yeah, I should probably drink a little bit less beer, but
well, thank you so much, Jeff. I've had a heck of a conversation.
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming and doing the podcast. I always tell people, let's catch up down the road, find out what you're up to when you open up 5 more of the Trolley Wing Company locations. We'll catch up with you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Many thanks again to Jeff Krie from Trolley Wing Company for joining us on this episode. What a great conversation.
Yeah, he's a go-getter, man.
I learned so much, but I was bummed out when he didn't show up with those wings.
I kind of was too.
He sent me a text as we were driving. Mm-hmm. He said, what kind of wings should we bring? And I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I said, surprise us.
Yeah.
Ended up running into some problems. I'm sure that happens, though, in the restaurant industry.
Oh, the restaurant industry is tough.
We're just going to have to go, Chrissy.
We are. We're going to have to eat all the wings.
All the links and all that good stuff is going to be at imsaltlake.com/305. That's where we're going to put the Facebook, the address, all the links to connect with Jeff and Trolley Wing Company.
So don't tell us you don't know how to get a hold of him.
Head over there. You can also share this episode. If you enjoyed it, share it with your family and friends. Let them know about the podcast and Trolley Wing Company. Maybe you've been telling them for a while that, hey, you need to come to Trolley Wing Company with me. Now you can share the episode before you head on over there. Hey, do you love I Am Salt Lake podcast? Why not sponsor the podcast? We're looking for some new sponsors, some people to that love the podcast. If you're a local business or you're an individual and you want to sponsor 1 episode or you want to sponsor 10 episodes, get in touch with Chrissy or myself or send an email to hello@imsaltlake.com and let's talk. Hey, speaking of sponsors, you've heard me mention them. You've heard me praise them. Jed's Barbershop is a very proud sponsor of this podcast. With 3 locations, you have no reason that you shouldn't always look your best. Go get a haircut, a nice beard trim, even a straight razor shave. Jed's Barbershop is open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 9 to 7, and Sunday, 12 to 5. They are located, they have 3 locations, like I said, 167 East, 900 South. It's right next to Randy's Records. They also have a location downtown at 212 South, 700 East, and up in Sugar House for the East Side folks at 2153 East, 2100 South. No appointments necessary. Just show up and you'll get yourself a very, very sweet haircut.
And you have a lot of things to go to this next couple of months.
Oh my gosh, you want to look sharp the whole month of December and January.
You can just pop in every week.
JedsBarbershop.com is where you can go for that. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We don't want you to miss a single episode. Next week on the podcast, we get to sit down with Terry Burden from Park City TV. We get to find out his story, and he shares all about Park City and all of the awesome things to do.
So that's going to be fun because it's a little bit different.
So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you're subscribed. You all have a great week. Take a walk around your neighborhood. Support local this holiday season.
Good night, Grammy.